Wanderstop is a vibe. It's a game about living in the now, not thinking about yesterday and not worrying about tomorrow. Wanderstop is a tea shop, and so your job is to make tea for your customers. It's not that hard, just heat water, add a few ingredients, then you're good to go. At least if they don't make a complicated request, but even that's not so bad. While serving people, you might have a few conversations. You don't have to talk about anything specific, but many of a Wanderstop's customers have problems, and when in a tea shop, a lot of your solutions might be tea-flavored. But making tea requires ingredients. Luckily, the forest provides most of them, but others you'll need to grow yourself. It's pretty easy, just a couple seeds, a little water, maybe some planting. And if any of that sounds too stressful, why not sit back, relax, and have a cup for yourself.
I had a trainer once who was obsessed with tea. He would make us sit and drink it. And he would always claim that there was all this deep wisdom in tea. But it was just talk. He treated us like it would be obvious, if only we paid attention, that somehow the wisdom would reveal itself. Drinking this reminds me of him. Ugh. I should add some flavor to it next time. Something more than just tea leaves.
The gameplay in Wanderstop is simple. In fact, you could even call it tedious. Planting seeds is really just as simple as putting 3 together in a line or 4 together in a star pattern. And getting fruit from the large hybrids is as simple as, well, watering them a few times and making a new plant every so often. Each customer wants something different, and so serving the tea is fairly time-consuming. But it's not hard. Every time, you ready the water, heat it to a boil, put it into the infuser, add your tea and other ingredients, and then you're ready to pour. But at the same time, it's pretty relaxing, because the game doesn't pressure you into doing any of these things. You can do them, but you don't have to. There's no time limit, and you're also free to wander the forests or read some of the game's books. If you're ever confused on anything, the field journal has all of your tasks, and if you're really stuck, the Book of Answers has, well, yeah, all the answers. Don't know what you're expecting there. But Wonderstop's characters and writing are what makes this game truly shine. Boro is a consistent and supportive pillar of the Wanderstop, enigmatic in his own way, but always there to offer Alta a kind word and maybe a cup of tea. He'll explain how to serve the customers, give you hints when their instructions are unclear. Boro's great at letting Alta know what she can do without telling her that she has to do it. But the customers themselves are pretty quirky. One of the first characters you meet is a knight. Well, actually no, he's just a dad dressed as a knight. But he's on an epic quest. He wants to become cool so his son doesn't think he's a dork. He also has a bit of a curse problem. But you know what? His heart is absolutely in the right place. And as you interact with him, he will show you endless pictures of his son, who's clearly the light of his life. And sure, you could tell him to stop at any time. And if you did, he probably would. But as he was showing the pictures and telling the stories, he just seemed so proud and happy. And so I went through all of them. And as time passes, the Wanderstop changes. Both literally, the colors and the scenery, and figuratively over time, as the game does introduce a few new mechanics and customers with more complex problems. My favorite example of this is the subplot about the businessmen. They start showing up at the Wanderstop in search of a boardroom to present something and requesting coffee. But of course, the Wanderstop is a tea shop, and you can't order coffee in a tea shop. As a big coffee lover, I have tried before and it does not go well. Luckily for the businessmen, a cosmic being as old as time itself finds them fascinating. So Zenith is more than happy to help you obtain some coffee beans. And of course, once again fueled by coffee, each of the businessmen continue with their presentations. Alta isn't exactly the board, but you know what, she's an audience who's willing or maybe just forced to listen. On one hand, it's a quirky, lighthearted segment that plays a foil to the game's more serious main story. And on the other hand, it's a ridiculous parody of corporate nonsense. Such as how one businessman gives you a presentation on profitability for the third quarter, and he simply excludes all the unprofitable parts to prove his point. Yep, totally works. Definitely gonna graduate from business school. So when I say I played this game for the writing, I mean it. And I spent a lot of time reading through the game's books, such as the Dirk Warhard novels, a fictional series within the world that reminds me a bit of James Bond. They serve no gameplay function at all. You don't get resources for reading them, there's no secret information, they don't even advance the plot. But they exist, and they're also pretty funny. I even wrote a book critiquing them, though to be honest with you, most of the novels themselves seem like they were so over the top that they became a critique of themselves. And hey, if you want something a little more serious, maybe check out Professor Currency's Guide to Economics. And so what did I learn after reading through all the books available? Dirk Warhard really enjoys his boat-based murder. So I think it's about time to wrap things up. But wait a minute, was I forgetting something? Is there more to this game? Another plot that I should be talking about, like the main story? No, I think that's a topic for you to explore on your own if you decide to play the game. So with all that said, what's the verdict? Wanderstop's a vibe. It's a game about living in the now, not thinking about yesterday, and not worrying about tomorrow. In fact, the game actively resists you trying to play it efficiently or min-maxing it by wiping your materials as you move between the different chapters. But at the same time, each new scene introduces more wonderfully written characters. So is this the game for you? Well, I certainly enjoyed it and I'd strongly recommend it. But only if you're the sort of person who's willing to sit down and read a Dirk Warhard novel, even though it does nothing to progress the game, give you resources, or advance the plot. Because at the end of the day, that's all there is, and that's all there ever will be.